My laptop crashed maybe 10 minutes into the last recording session, so this might not even make it to air. But if it does, let's go. SBF Season 13 Monotype Doubles King Division PRs by me. By me is important because, as all PRs are, they are not objective fully, right? Like, I have my preferences as to what makes a good team, but I have no doubt that teams I put below mine or teams I put below others are gonna come out and whoop ass. Every team looks solid, so I did add in a couple extra teams in 16th and 15th just to show that no one's a real last place. 10 Bruxuses I thought would be a clear last place. Um, Greg Heffley did actually make a run for the top 10. Look at the coverage options here, but in the end, he's just not as good since Rowley left the squad, so that's all. 14th, I put the fire team. So this has a diabolical amount of firepower, right? The eruption, the sun boosted fire moves. I'm gonna talk kind of slowly today. If sorry if I lose train of thought. I kind of had a big night, and I'm just not all there yet. But Darmanitan with the Flare Blitz, Mega Charizard Y existing. We got some big yard action. I think this is one of my favorite Terra captains. Um, I'm gonna love this after you stuff, and yeah, Chiyu's wicked. You've got great automatic stab spread moves in Sun boosted Heat Wave, really good. You're gonna have to bring Torracat for Fake Out if you want that, but just having an Intimidate user is really big. Something I'm gonna harp on a lot of teams is having way too much physical offense, not enough special offense, and so Intimidate becomes even larger than normal. Oh, you've got a second Intimidator, Arcanine. Fuck, that's big. Now, I could honestly, if I re-rated, there are worlds in which I put this way higher. Um, Definitely top 10. I think really the big separator is somewhere around top like five, top eight, something along those lines. But you could argue all the way up through sixth is very malleable, probably even further. But I put it here because it doesn't have a lot of doubles tools. It has a couple follow me. Magmar's great, so maybe that's a misinformed take. I don't know why I thought that. The big one though is I feel like outside of Sun, this team is not very good. It's just not going to perform well. I feel like most of the things here, some have secondary types, but most of them are using their fire moves more than their non-fire moves, and there's a lot of pure fire offense here. And in doubles, it is even easier to deny Sun going up, right? You have a prankster Pokemon, put Rain Dance on that thing. You have, I don't know, Fake Out. You can delay turns with double Protect super easily. Everyone's bringing Protect. It just doesn't feel. You can't even bring Heat Rock on Yard, right? So it just doesn't feel super viable outside of Sun for me. I feel like it loses its speed, like the chlorophyll. It loses the power behind the flare blitzes, behind the heat waves, behind the eruption. I just don't see it functioning that well, and the game plan is so clear there, that I broke code of conduct. I stopped kind of weighing some of the strengths, and I just feel like that you can kind of get the better of this team with that strat. So, and I don't think it's like a niche strat, right? I don't think I'm telling secrets out here. I think that is just like a everyone's setting rain dance on this team, and there's not a lot it can do against that aside from sub yard out and in bring manual sunny day. I'm assuming there will be manual sunny day on some stuff, but you're just gonna have to get so many of those calls right, and in the turns where you don't, this team is not effective. So that's me, but if you play this right, teams probably just won't be able to persist through the fire attacks. So huge wins incoming. I think I just see plans against it coming really easily. And 13th, I've got the fighting team, another one with a shit ton of just raw power, but I think clear weaknesses. So this is one of the biggest offenders of what I was just talking about in terms of only having one special attacker. And in the weeks where you bring Mega Medi over Mega Lucario, you're not even getting the special attack that high. I guess you can like specs it, but you don't get adaptability. Whatever. Not a lot of doubles tools in general. You do have one redirector in Luke, which if you mega it, that's you don't want to waste that HP. I guess that would be like Sash, follow me for a week where you're bringing Mega Metacham, but if you ever bring Mega Metacham, right? Like this team already has so much of that, just launching physical fighting type moves into stuff. You run into teams that aren't susceptible to that, you're not doing so hot. I think Hitmontop is going to be real good. Fake out, intimidate. Overall, I think three fake outers. I could be wrong. Three is, I think, the max on any team, and Hands is just such a goat. You do have a viable tail or trick room squad in like Hands. Crabominable, actually, I've seen do insane work in trick room, and even like Room Service Pangaro, I think would be heat. But yeah, there's not a lot to block incoming psychic, incoming flying, incoming fairy attacks, and that wouldn't be a big deal if I think the I don't know offense and doubles tools allowed it to um, break through things more easily. But I feel like you run into physical walls, they can launch those attacks into you, and now you don't have staying power. So similar reason to the last one. I just think it's pretty easy to build around at a glance, at least, right? Like all of this is at a glance, so that's why I'm putting it here. But yeah, super scary. Like the last one, it does force you to do some good prep work. But once you do the prep work, I think you can. I think you can take it. So what a stat line, right? Like if you take out the shitters, um, good God, Megalodios is demonic, raging bolt. It doesn't look like it has a lot of priority in general, no fake out, but raging bolt thunderclap is so big in doubles, so big. Um, yeah, this is a team where the it asks a question, right? The question is, can you break through and live long enough to break through six really strong dragon types? One of the dragon types being Terra Goldengo. And if the answer is yes, you win. It has no doubles tricks. It has Tailwind, right? That's not a trick. It has no doubles tricks, very limited support, if any. Um, but if the answer is no, then, Dragonite sits on you. Gouging Fire sits on you. And that's not to say that this team has no versatility, right? Polt has a lot of sets. All these guys have a lot of sets, actually. Goldengo, you can run Fat, you can run Setup, you can run Scarf. You've got some spread moves, darts, make it rain. You've got various setup options. Megalodios actually packs a lot of support that's not displayed to the right on the sheet. But I just, for teams that can handle dragon types, for teams that, I don't know, have Ice Stab or Fairy Stab or, a good Dragon Resist, like if you've got a Steel type with enough stuff to, outlast Gouging Fire, if you have the doubles tricks to redirect around whichever guy you have to launch attacks into the Dragon types, you win. And there's not a lot of interesting things at a glance that this team can do to work around that and ask a different question. So, you already know what questions on the test, which makes it a lot easier to play around. All right, Rain, um, similar to Fire. I just don't see this one operating super well outside of Rain. I think it operates better. And a big reason for that is I love the type spread here. Everything's got a secondary type with very few repeats. I think only one repeat is second flying slash second dark, depending on if Gyarados is mega or not. But and so that helps a lot. That does help a lot. You have so much coverage against so many different guys, and I think that this could give the team some wins that I wouldn't predict off the rip. But you've got such limited offense, and normally I would say, like in rain, that's fine. But because the rain is boosting all of your stab, hydro pumps, all your surfs, all your scalds, all your liquidations, all your waterfalls. That was a quick water type knowledge check. But outside of rain, you're back to not doing that much damage, especially if it's sun. And once the damage button is turned off, I don't see this team breaking through anything that well. Um, Everything having Aqua Jet is going to be nice. Ludi's got Fake Out and is going to be a pretty consistent bring thanks to Swift Swim, so that's nice. You're not running Lantern Sucker Punch generally, but hyped to see the heat. Aside from that, very very limited doubles tools. Um, I Gyarados is going to be awesome, right? Intimidate in this division, in this uh, physical attack odd division. The Intimidate's going to be big there, and then unlike most Intimidate users, you can Mega, and now your ability is still doing work for you, launching into Water Absorbent Storm Drain Mons. Um, I think the biggest miss for me is not grabbing immediately a Lightning Rod Terra Captain, right? Or any Terra Captain with an immunity to one of your two consistent weaknesses, like a Sap Sipper. You're not running Sap Sipper on a Zoomer. A real Sap Sippermon would be big, but even bigger is going to be that Lightning Rod that draws electric attacks away from the other guy you've got going against Pelipper. Drawing electric away from Pelipper would be huge. Give Pelipper some longevity. Let the specs build. Hit a couple more hurricanes, weather balls. Let it U-turn out safely into whatever's coming in. I don't know. I feel like this is a pretty good team, and I think it can do a lot of work. But I just don't know. You know what? No, I don't know if it can do that much work, and that's why it's down here. I think it's a really cool build, but compared to a lot of the firepower we've seen and just the ability in doubles to just flip the weather off, um, I don't know if it'll be successful. Got another weather team here. This is where I think team. No, I was gonna say this is where teams start to do fine outside of weather, but I don't know. Ice is just such a rough type in general. Now I think this team has really good tools. I love the Aurora Veil setup angle for Porygon Z. I think that is a great bring onto this team. Um, I love teleport on it. It's got some cool utility. A lot of these guys do. I'd love to see Galarian Mr. Mime come as a Mime hater in general. I think that the screen cleaner might be good against like my Grimmsnarl, or if someone drafted Klefki, I forget. Um, you love to see that ice body. I don't know if Snow Cloak's allowed, but if it is or isn't, still a cool team. So Titans there. This team is really threatening in the snow, but I think unlike the last couple, it does cross the line into still being threatening outside of its weather, which is nice. Bundle is so good in doubles, launching those icy winds, outspeeding pretty much anything with booster energy or scarf, or it doesn't even need to. You can just launch specs into shit. Kyurem would be heat. Let it get a D dance up. It doesn't have a lot of physical coverage if memory serves. I forget if that's black or white. That's kind of not able to use its good attacking stat. I'd imagine this one. Yeah, I don't know. It didn't click for me all the way. I feel like a lot of the support pieces aren't doing that much. If you can get past the Blizzard onslaught, I think you're gonna be okay. just doesn't, yeah, doesn't feel like it has enough to break through some teams. And yeah, you can deny Aurora Veil pretty easily with a manual set of your own. You can taunt. You can get away from a lot of what this team wants to do. Now, why it's above the other ones so far is it's not always locked into that, right? You have all. It's a great offensive type. You can just launch attacks. But yeah, I feel like you're going to get some ice type syndrome where everybody's going to have a lot of coverage against you, and not a lot you can do to circumnavigate that aside from to goad out and just get the better of people through play this season. Cool prep, cool play. Um, Hell yeah. Okay, normal type. I love a lot of the pieces on this team. I I told myself I wasn't gonna come back and reference this too much, but I do want to before I make a comment. Nine. Okay, I don't. I don't. Why is Arbolova here? I don't know what it offers that much. I guess grass type stab. Maybe a something that functions well in Trick Room. Those are the uses I see for it. But I feel like for 9 points, you can probably upgrade one of your side pieces. I could see getting something better for Squawkabilly to do better against fighting type. Um, I will say this is probably the most volatile team to jump up that we've covered and that we will cover. And the reason is if you play Zora Kisui well, you can shit on anybody. It is so hard to launch fighting into Zork. You can do mind if your mind games are on that day. If you're in your opponent's head, um, they have no safe options if you read them like a book, right? They're launching fighting attacks into Zork and they get fucked brutal. And Oranguru, one of my favorite Pokemon to play with of all time. Actually, it is in my top two most fun I have playing with any Pokemon. It's right there, maybe number one. Instruct is such a fun move, and then on top of that, it has the normal Psychic trio, right? Psychic, Psyshock, Psychic Noise. It's got Hyper Voice for spread in doubles, right? So it's always doing something. And then on top of that, it has all of the Psychic classic support options: Ally Switch, Skill Swap, Trick Room. It is so fun. And then if you pair it with an Earthquake user that is just online, you've got Telepathy, right? Now, I don't think this team has a great EQ user. It has Gigas, except probably your skill swapping Telepathy or whatever you have off of Oranguru so that Gigas can come online. But still, super cool. A lot of strats are here. Now, where I am not big on it, just feels like it should have more firepower or more options in my opinion. Like I'm looking at it and it feels like there should be one or two more big hitters here and I'm just not seeing them. It's like where did the budget go? And so I think this is a great build. Um, I'm just wondering if there were more cost effective. There was another more cost effective build out there that would let you get something a little bit scarier. Additionally, I don't see a lot of support options. Other than I mean, you've got Prankster. You've got a Prankster guy, right? Mega Odd is so buns. Normal Odd is buns. Squawkabilly is your only is like the Tailwind guy and your fighting type answer. And it's terrible, right? Like Squawkabilly is not good. Gigas, I think it's going to be really cool. I'm excited to see what you cook with Oranguru and BM in Trick Room. Cyclizar is so goaded. I hope it gets some love. I I'm just I'm it's not striking fear into me at a glance, and you can do so many cool things to make it scary, but you're gonna have to be on your game playing this team, and I think the teams above it are a little bit more automatic. Um, like you don't have to goad out in order to get tough wins. But I could very easily. It reminds me of my normal team from last season. I could very easily see this doing super well. So have fun with this one. And sorry, I couldn't put higher. 8, I put the bug team. I think this one's got a lot of really cool tools. Um, you've got so many. I think it's probably got the most tailwind setters since we don't have a flying team. Could be wrong. It's up there though. You've got decent priority in Megasis, no fake out, but you do have decent priority in Megasis. Area dose, I could legit see coming some weeks just to launch off poison status without missing to rage powder. Like you just put it all in bulk, especially against these teams that have a million physical attackers. You don't have to worry about special. You just put it on HP defense, let it do support, let it put webs. I think this team can be played in a lot of really cool ways, and I'm so excited to see it. Now, unfortunately, this is one of those aforementioned teams with only one special attacker. Gelv barely counting, I guess, 1.5. Volk. You're always going to have to play around Volcarona. It is such a scary Pokemon. Tough to hit, especially from bulk. Tough to hit physically from flame body concerns. The problem is one of the problems is you've got a lot of pressure applied to Volcarona to be that sweep threat and versus like a rage powder option for the rest of your team, especially with your Crustle and Cloyster who are just going to want to shell smash here. Or let Mega Scissor get off a Swords Dance, right? Rage Powder is so valuable on this team, which means that you're less likely to run one of those setup sets or run a good special spread on the only special attacker you really have. So that's tough. And because it's best 2 out of 3, it's not like the mind game is even that valuable. Because even if you pull one out by someone expecting the wrong Volk set and for some reason doing a whole game plan around that, playing around that really hard in game 1, they know what to do games 2 and 3. And in the niche case where that does decide a game, like the Volk mind game there, support versus specs or setup, it's so niche, but um, I don't think it's just that worth it to only have one special attacker, and that's why I don't think Cloyster is a very good Terra captain here. Um, you want another when you run Rage Powder on Volk, you're gonna want another special attacker who doesn't have to use a setup turn to come online, especially when they're as frail as Cloyster is specially. Like even if Volk Rage Powders, if you launch a special spread move, which are not rare, if you launch one of them into the team, Cloyster just goes down so fast. Yeah, you get schmucked there for sure. Now, Araquanid's awesome. Volby is great. The supporting cast here can do a lot of work. But I don't think Cloyster is a good Terra Capped option. And I see good physical walls being able to just kind of shut this team down pretty easily. The difference between shutting this team down easily, though, and the other teams I've said that about, is that this team does have a lot of really cool ways to get around that in their support, in webs, in whatever teched out Shuckle is coming to a match. So I think this one can do a lot. I love the type spread on it. You've got a lot of cool stab options. I just don't. It just feels still a little bit exploitable. But I could see this one, aside from all the, or out of the teams um, about which I've said, I've brought up the exploitability concern. This is the one so far where I could see it getting around it the easiest, with like a teched out Volbeat set, or with Cleaver just doing something, Hazard Stack maybe, actually being able to successfully set up with a Shell Smasher, or Quiver Dancer. So, I don't know, have fun. There, we are in the top half for sure at this point. This team's so scary. I could see it going higher. It's tempting. If I didn't already name the sheets, if it wasn't so much work to rename them, I might honestly at this point. I think this is the line for me of where the teams really jump up a level. So so scary. Holy fuck! It says that it's not a special attacking team. That's such a lie, dude. You've got the Life Orb Sheer Force Lando. You got Big Shocks. You got Mega Camerupt on the slow side. This Trick Room option is so grody. Um, you're probably not setting it up yourself with Baltoy's bulk, but you could, right? It's not VGC. You're not wasting one of four slots on it. You're using one of six. Opportunity cost way lower, and then you have these two guys going nuts, brutal. And then physically, enough said. Everyone's got Stab Earthquake, and you've got Excadrill up top, sand rushing the fuck out of it. Meowstic, really cool Terra Captain. Love that prankster fake out. This is exactly what the team was missing. Second trick room option. Wish it was a little bulkier, but I still see this thing doing insane work when you bring it. You don't even have to because the rest of the team is so good. And what I love is this team definitely has a really cool mode about it where it's all about chip damage. You can set up hazards so easy. You can apply poison with Clodsire, who is super hard to take down. And then you've got Sand Up, right? And so teams are expecting to still do fine against that, but it's all gonna stack up. And then next thing they know, you've stolen a game, you've stolen two games, you've stolen the set. You go to the championships, you win the whole thing. Bang! I see it happening. Um, I will say, out of Meowstic, not a lot of standard doubles tools that you're using. You've got Electro Web, which is actually really sweet. You've got Heat Wave. You've got spread moves for sure. You have two water immunities, which I love, and the rest of your team isn't super weak to grass or ice. I mean, as good as that's gonna get from a ground type team. So I love the build here. Um, why is it so low? Why is this in seventh? What was the flaw? Oh, I guess it's just lack of doubles tools. If you find ways around it, if you have freeze dry, if that's maybe a bad example. That's not that widespread. I just for a team that is um, so lacking in like redirection or a tailwind set, or sand going offline or someone deciding to bring removal or whatever. I don't know. It feels like this is a team that does get locked. It has multiple game plans to choose from, but it does kind of get locked into one. And if there's a way to lock that game plan down, then I just see it going pretty poorly. There's not a lot of course correcting I feel that you're doing here, but the tools are there. I could I do see this one doing better than I have it, and I think as I was moving, I did them this morning, right? As I was moving stuff around, this one got lost in the shuffle. I would probably put this one even above. I think it's a top five team. I'm putting this one above mine, um, if I re-rated. But what I cooked this morning was this team in seventh, and unfortunately, I have to stand by that asshole's decision. So this team in seven, I don't think it's a terrible choice to put this one in seven, but yeah, you could totally see this one going higher. Really cool team. Um, and out of all the weather teams, this is by far the one that does the best outside of its weather. I got up through here, and I was like, hell yeah, this team is a cook. And then the weather got added in, and it became a mega cook. So, yeah. And this whole league, really good team. So the fact that it is in the top half and that it is after the big 8 to 7 divide, I think, says volume. So, yeah, I'm going to keep glazing this one. So I feel less bad about putting in 7 because it's a great team. 6. Oh yeah, the other thing to mention is this might be the best ground type team of all time if it was, but some types just have more tools at their disposal, and we're gonna see that with the terrain teams. So here's a terrain team. You've got electric terrain, Terra Cap, Iron Valiant. Fuck, that's in the division, huh? Oh, this is my week 1 match. That sucks. Um, yeah, really cool team. Unfortunately, yeah, it's got an opposite problem. All special attack, only one physical attacker. Electros is there. I love him. There was a time when I drafted him in 8 out of 10 consecutive draft leagues, and his name was Box Top 2, and he was one of my best friends. So I get the Electros love, especially as a levitator. I'm not going to count him as a real offensive threat here because he's not super fast in Trick Room. He's not super fast outside of Trick Room. Um, it's not like he's going down in one hit, but he's not a sweeper. So, yeah, you've got very limited physical output here. And that means you put assault vest on a bunch of crap, um, and you can take this team down. I do feel out of the is it 2 or 3 terrain teams that this one it probably gets shut down without its terrain the easiest. Still has a lot of tools, but it does really want that terrain up for the Quark Drive boost, for Surge Surfer, for boosting all of the electric moves. That is really its main source of output here, right? So that's rough. Now, I do like the rain mode on this team, right? Boosting up the hydro pump off road and wash, 100% accurate thunders for everybody across the board. Heliolisk, I always thought was good in rain for some reason. I'm forgetting why that is. I don't know if dry skin heals in rain. That might be it. Um, Failed the knowledge check. My bad. And then, yeah, Zapdos 100% Hurricane. I like that a lot. Mega Manetric is going to be so huge here. You can control when the Intimidate goes up based on when you Mega. Love that. Volt Absorb Risu. You're just going to get healed by Discharge as you redirect stuff into you. So cool. Um, you've got one Fake Out user. Better than none for sure. Yeah, I mean, it's a really threatening team. I do see, like, a lot of counterplay, but this is a team where the output is so dastardly that your counterplay better work because if it doesn't, like, you make one wrong move and you just get shocked. You just get shocked into hell. I think a lot of the teams lower down where I was talking about how easy it is to just, unset the weather. Even if you unset the terrain, this team is still doing stuff outside of terrain long enough for it to come back up. Manual E terrain is not an absurd bring. Um, yeah, I just think this team works a lot better. The output is a lot more threatening, a lot more consistent. Even Pinkirchin's doing work. Um, and then, yeah, Valiant is icing on the cake. I do think this team could get Assault Vest diff, but another big difference is the fact that there is a Fake Out here. There is some tech I could see going down, and the Thunderwave spam is diabolical, right? You don't need Tailwind when your opponents are half speed and struggling to move, but you do have Tailwind off of one of the best setters in the game. So I think the build I don't like where it's exploitable, but in practice, this team is good enough to just muscle through um, kind of the more glaring strategic flaws. So yeah, I even if you know the game plan, I think you can still get fucked by this one pretty easy. So it's up in 6. So I don't normally put my teams this high, but I did see some people saying they were scared of it in chat, and so I reevaluated, and I do think the team's pretty good. I value versatility really highly, and I think that there are so many different tech options on how to run a lot of these guys, and I think the whole team is pretty viable to come in a given week. So that's why it's there. Um, I think my biggest critique is I did not draft nearly enough answers to poison and steal the teams. I can take down a few of them each, right? I have stab psychic moves. Melmetal has insane earthquake. Mega Diancy's got earth power. Um, but um, yeah, and I could see a setup going online pretty easily with Alchemy, right? Alchemy onto Melm could is probably just going to win a few games throughout the course of this season. But yeah, a whole team of steel and poison. If I get one or both of them in my schedule, that is a free 1 to 2 losses for me. Against neutral or better matchups, though, I think the team's really good. Togetic is super bulky, solid follow me mon. Definitely not a shame to bring it, especially with Tailwind also being there. Like it's really solid on support, really bulky. Um, we've got two fake out mons and one of the best prankster mons in Grimmsnarl, maybe the best. Um, Scary Face is going to be huge here for either letting my guys move fast outside of Trick Room by slowing the opponents down, or by slowing my own guys down in Trick Room to outspeed even the slow ass like Mega Cameruptor Claude. I think Shiinotic adds a lot of value with like access to the powder moves, not Rage Powder, but like the other ones, and just having Effect Spore for annoyance. I I could see Alchemy going on to Comfey and Comfey doing like the healing priority stuff. I just think there are a lot of really cool things that can happen. The team Fairy is just a really good type, so even if you think, wow, a lot of these guys are mid as hell, um, Fairy's just a really good type offensively and defensively, and I think I just kind of use that to draft 11 guys who will have longevity just due to their typing and will put out damage due to their typing. And Melmetal and Mega DNC sweeps are incoming. There's a lot of cool tech to run here. It just feels kind of solid, really good stat spread. Um, yeah, sorry for the self glaze. I think it was a pretty good cook, and maybe it's going to be really shitty, but I think Grimmsnarl, specifically Grimmsnarl, Melm, and Mega DNC are going to carry me really hard. So that's that. But yeah, I'm gonna get my shit kicked in by Poison Steel, and I had to deglaze a little bit. Okay, we got the grass team, and I originally really didn't like this one. It's only got one special attack or holy shit, it's only got one special attacker in Mega Sceptile, I guess Roserade. Um, Two Ogre Pawns is dastardly. Really bulky, follow me users, great Ivy Cudgel coverage versus all of the types that grass doesn't like, right? Bug, ice, I guess not poison, whatever. Um, Bug, flying, bang. And fire's even hitting steel, which is normally a big offensive concern for grass. My aside from the special attacking concerns, which are super valid, the other big thing is I don't like this Terra Captain that much. Um, if you're looking for another consistent source of damage, which I think is how you absolutely want to use your Terra Captain as a grass type, I don't think rock is the best answer, right? You've got the accuracy concerns right there. Um, Now, yeah, I would have loved to see a better like way to break through steel types, like stab on a ground move, which the rest of your team would not be weak to, right? You can leverage earthquake so well, um, especially if Bulu doesn't come, which is super viable. So even better, a flash fire guy, a special attacker. I could see Chandler doing insane work here, or just a special attacker. That'd be big because Mega Sceptile's got no coverage. So yeah, not big on that Terra Captain, not big on the lack of special attack. Um, why is it in fourth? Because of status. This team has what no other team has in terms of applying insane amounts of sleep, of stun spore, of sleep spore. This is a slog fest. You can ruin so many people's day with just like one or two sleeps, and that might be all you need for your ogre pawns and Lycanroc to remove the biggest threats or chip them down enough to the point that when they wake up, they don't have enough HP to live. The Decidueye Hisui's awesome here as a flex option for Tailwind and just doing damage in general, hitting some triple arrows. Um, Yeah, I don't know. This is one like ground's chip option where its status option is unmatched. And so I kind of had to put it in fourth there because it is just a whole different aspect to the game that other teams can't really compete with. And I think it does enough in the other sections of the game to be very threatening all around. All right, these three are the big three. The top three, I think, is the other divide. I would put one divide between 7 and 8, and then I would put another divide between 3 and 4. And these top three teams, I think, are just so diabolical, so insanely tough to prep for. So we've got size spam, shadow tag. This sucks. This sucks. I've got oh my second shadow tag. I didn't even see that at a first glance. So yeah, you're fucked. It's size spam plus arena trap, shadow tag. Sorry, plus dark rye. So if you thought your ghost types were gonna be able to be doing all that, dark rye's gonna shut that down real fast. Only one real physical attacker in Boulder. Mew does get Dragon Dance though, so that's always scary. But in Boulder, I would have liked to see another Fizz attacker here. Competitive is going to be a huge ability here. Um, I guess people probably aren't running Intimidate into you, but that does free up Boulder to do Boulder things. I, I just wish so bad you had another Fizz attacker to kind of, what am I looking for? Complement Boulder in terms of coverage, right? I get what you're going for in terms of having like the fast Darkrai into the rest of the team. Super get it. I feel like a physical attacking Terra Captain would be more versatile. I know Darkrai opens up that specific strategy. If that strat doesn't work, um, I would, you know, I think the other one is probably more, yeah, just more versatile. You can apply it in a wider array of situations. It's easier to get out of jams if you have another Fizz guy you can just call on. But that said, Boulder is great on this team, breaking through steel types pretty easily. So, yeah, brutal. Screamtail's got a lot of options. Everybody's got a lot of options. This is Psychic. Psychic's probably my favorite supporting type, probably the best one in the game in terms of cool tech moves that they have access to. Um, Mew is going to be doing crazy things every week. I think that's the big one. So, love to see it, or hate to see it for everyone else. Yeah, it's just a good size spam team. I'm still molding over my loss to size spam in playoffs last season, so I'm just gonna move on. But we all know why this one is gonna suck to play against, and it's got that fizz concern, but so you can try to outlive it with specially and then break through, but yeah, it's this tough. And I'm speeding up a little bit because I just realized I have something I have to get to. Okay. Oh yeah, I remember why this one isn't in first, but it almost was. Oh my god, this is so cool. You have immunities to every single steel weakness. That is sick. You've got Aegis Slash versus Fighting, Heatran versus Fire. You've got two ground immunities. Your Trick Room mode is really good. Caparaj is doing so much damage. It's so undervalued and so much better in doubles. You've got a really good, reliable Tailwind setter in Skarm, hard to take down in one turn. And, you could even put it on Cartana one week, right? If people are expecting you to protect with it T1, you totally mind game the hell out of that. Genesect being in the format is just an instant downgrade for everybody else. Immediate, crazy, powerful move of any type going into whatever. Even better in this monotype format where having the right coverage option immediately makes your matchup super viable. I love this. This is just a tough team to take down with how flexible its defensive coverage is. And on top of that, you do have a lot of really good damage output, and you have Bronzong is going to carry the tech game. Empoleon's doing a lot of work um, especially with like Skull against these physical attacker teams. I'm loving this. Really nicely done. Great cook. Unfortunate that you don't have more priority. That's a big thing, but just how tough this team is to remove, I kind of had to respect the hell out of that. And then in one, the the Sun Dark team. This is so cool. Holy shit. I I wish the team had more special attack, and that is where critiques end. Three fake outs, hella priority from just being dark type. Okay, this is most tailwind setters, right? Or tied with bug, and I feel like these setters are more viable generally than a couple of the bug ones. Wow. And then you've got the free Wind Rider shift tree. You've got Roaring Moon photosynthesis up. Incineroar's fire attacks are doing even more, so you don't have to spend physical. You don't have to invest physically or offensively in order to still do a lot of damage with Flare Blitz. A lot of good pivoting. A lot of raw damage. Tough to take down on some weeks. If you decide to bring Mega Sableye over Mega Houndoom, you probably would never, just for the special damage output there. But man, this is cool. You've got really good. You don't have like a ton of utility, but you have all you need because base form Sableye plus Murkrow. You've got two prankster guys who are immune to prankster themselves. Incineroar's launching off parting shots and is just doing things. I, oh my god, you're just gonna stomp on so many teams. I would peg this team to get the most 6-0s out of any other team because I feel like if this is on, there's just nothing you can do. If 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 they play it right, if they see exactly what you're going for, this is most likely, if I'm doing superlatives, most likely to just shut a team down. Um, Brutal. Yeah, that's it for. Oh my God, Chlorophyll or Wind Rider. You can play Shift Tree in multiple ways. I actually drafted it in 2 out of 3 doubles leagues I'm in right now, and of course, it's gonna do the most work in the league where I don't have it. Um, Man, what a build. I because I feel like I talk the most when I'm trying to explain my critiques on teams. I don't have a lot to say here, just because it feels so full. Um, So anyway, I guess thanks for watching. Sorry if I ranked your team low. I did it so fast, the rankings. I think I'd probably change a lot of stuff around if I went back into it because I was noticing a lot of the teams I put higher, I had similar critiques to what I put lower, and the difference there is just um, when like how well can they play around those critiques, and how badly does the critique shut it down. Um, I don't know. No one was doing PRs, so this is what you're getting, I guess. Let's have a good season. These are really cool teams. Go go SBF.